First, open Excel with Store and Regional Sys database file. Next, we will add a new column in the data provided. The column is named as total sale, which will be used later in pivot table. Next, in the total sale column, we will apply formula equal F4 times G4 to find the total sales. By clicking the right corner of the box, it will automatically apply the same formula to the other column. As the number now is set as general, we need to change it into currency. Now, all the number is changed into currency. Then, we will select all the cells to change the table style. We can choose any color or any style to be applied to the table according to our own preferences. The table is well designed now. Next, we will proceed to construct pivot table. In a new sheet, we will click the information we need to construct a table. In this case, we will choose total sales and week ending. Once the information is ticked, it will automatically construct into a table. Next, I will change the total sales into percentage form so it will be easier to be seen in pivot chart. The sales percentage column is finally constructed. Next, we will move on to construct the pivot table into a pivot chart. By clicking Insert ribbon, we can find Pivot Chart button. The list of chart will be appeared and we will choose according to suitability. In this case, 3D clustered column chart is selected. We also can change the color of the chart by clicking Change Colors. Next, we will add Axis title by clicking the plus symbol on the right corner of the chart. Note that it is not visible in this video. The vertical axis is now changed into sales, while horizontal axis is changed into week ending. Chart title can be added by clicking the same plus symbol on the right corner of the chart. The chart title is now changed into Sales by Month. The chart is finally constructed. Next, we will rename the sheet by right-click Sheet 1 and rename to Sales by Month. This is the final look of the chart. For the next pivot table, we will repeat the same step as the first one. But there is a difference in the second chart compared to the first chart. I include slicer features to filter my data by clicking on the type of data I want. In this case, I choose sales region in my slicer. Second chart is done and we will proceed to the third chart by repeating the same step. All chart is finally constructed. Next, we will move it into a dashboard. First, we will click the sheet that contains pivot chart that we had done before and click Ctrl+C, then select dashboard sheet and Ctrl+V. Repeat the same step to other chart. Once the chart is compiled in a dashboard sheet, arrange it according to your own preference. We will also can choose shape to be added as the title of the dashboard. Once the shape is chosen, we can name the dashboard title as Store and Regional Sys Database. This is the final look of the dashboard. Thank you. First of all, open Excel with precedent in guest database file. Next, we will add a new column in the data provided. The column is namely as number of days stay, which will be used later in pivot table. The date format will be changed into number and we will change decimal places into 0. The formula used in the new column is equal days, bracket G4, F4. Then we will drag the right corner to copy the formula to entire column. Next, we will move on to create pivot table. On the right side, we will choose the information we want to be in the pivot table. For example, room type and number of guests is ticked. Once pivot table is constructed, we can change it into a pivot chart. In this case, 3D pie is selected. We can also change the chart style by clicking the pivot chart tools and click design. Once finished with the designing, we will change the chart title as total guests by room type. The sheet is then renamed as total guests by room type. This is the final look of the first chart. Next, we will repeat the same step to create other pivot table and chart. In this chart, slicer features is added. It is to help the manager to filter the data just by clicking on the type of data he wants. In this case, I choose arrival and departure date slicer. We can change the color of slicer by click option in the slicer tool. By clicking the slicer, manager can trace easily number of days stay within the specific date and room type. For example, on 3rd December, there are 4 rooms occupied by customer. Cleveland have 8 days of stay, while College have 2, Hayes have 3, Washington have 2 days of stay. Then we will proceed to rename the chart title to Total Days Stay by Room. The sheet also will be renamed as the Total Days Stay by Room. Second chart is Construct. The same step will be repeated to create third and fourth chart. Once finished with constructing the chart, we will compile all the chart into a one dashboard. The dashboard will be arranged according to your own preferences, such as the size of the chart, the color of the chart, or even the title of the chart. This is the final look of the dashboard.